the story that still unwinding from last week was the revelation that Michael Cohen, the President Trump's personal attorney, in testimony revolving around Stormy Daniels' case, revealed that his third client of the past 2 years, after Donald Trump and a major Republican donor, was in fact Sean Hannity, of all people. Give me your first reaction.
Well, my first reaction was to, high five my husband. We both kind of did a little, dance in the middle of the living room upon hearing it. It was one of the few moments in the last year or so that I have actually had a moment of pure joy at hearing. And in fact, I don't know if you saw the Stephen Colbert reaction that night. I think it was on Monday night of this past week. But it's hilarious. You should go to YouTube and watch it, because you can imagine, after all the years that he spent and Jon Stewart spent on The Daily Show also, skewering Hannity, nothing could be more satisfying to them and to me, to be honest. I mean, it was an amazing thing, because, there's a lot to sort out in that whole story, and I'm not sure we even have touched the surface of it as of yet. But, the fact is what we know up to now is that the feds have been tracking and have been looking into Cohen's businesses for months, apparently. Some of this apparently came from a referral from Mueller, but clearly there's a whole bunch of other stuff here. Now, we don't know yet whether or not Mueller uncovered this stuff in the course of his investigation of Russia. And by the way, Cohen's involved in that stuff too. It's not this particular case, but he is involved because Mueller, there are numerous reports of him, interrogating witnesses with some very serious, subpoenas and requirements that they test grand jury subpoenas, that they talk about Cohen's involvement in these overseas deals, which does not appear to be part of the Southern District of New York case, which is about Cohen and his taxi medallions, and we are assuming a lot of it has to do with the Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal and various other hush money schemes that he and Donald Trump and at least one other client, which the man named, I think it's Elliot Broidy, who's a big RNC Trump donor and RNC finance chairman, who he also arranged a payoff to a Playboy playmate of. And then there is Sean Hannity. And when they went to court on Monday, it was because they were claiming this big, sweeping attorney-client privilege on the previous Friday when they first went to court. And the judge is going, well, and, the U.S. attorney had said, well, look, this isn't really about his legal work. This is about some business deals that he did. And they were saying, no, there's all this information about my clients. And the judge said, well, how many clients do you have, and who are they? And they said, well, we can't really answer because Michael Cohen at the time was out hanging with his Goombas on the street corner smoking cigars and didn't bother to come to court. So she said, all right, bring your client in on Monday, and I want to know who these people are, what his clients are. I need to know about that before I can make a ruling about attorney-client privilege. They come in on Monday, say, well, he's got 3 clients. Everybody's going, 3? Okay, and we know about the 2, right? Donald Trump and this guy, Elliot Brody. That was public knowledge. Who's the 3rd? And the guy said, well, the lawyer says, well, we didn't really, this person doesn't want to be named, has said explicitly that he does not want to be named publicly. And the judge goes, no, I don't think so. You're going to tell me. And he did. And
no, wait a second.
Hannity.
There's one other interim step, which I think also captures Michael Cohen and all of these guys perfectly. Cohen's lawyer said, well, we'll tell you, but we just want to make sure that Michael Cohen's not going to be disbarred for being unethical by naming this client after the client has said, don't name me. And the judge said, no, you're fine because I'm ordering you to tell me. And the guy's like, oh, okay, Sean Hannity. And that was it.
Yeah, it's Sean Hannity. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as we're not going to pay a price, sure, I got no problem throwing him under the bus.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll throw him under the bus. Not a problem at all. Well, nobody knows what this is about, right? I mean, what he was representing Sean Hannity. But, of course, the first suspicion that comes to your mind is, what if Michael Cohen appeared to be specializing in at this point?
Right.
And it appears to be, he's paying off.
Two-thirds of my clients, I pay off
Playmates
adult
and porn stars.
actresses to not report the fact that they've had affairs, and then 1/3 I just do some advising on real estate transactions.
Right, and of course, because Sean Hannity, he's worth over $80 million. He has his own private jet. He can't afford to get a real estate attorney, so he has to, he has to hire Michael Cohen, the man who went to the worst law school in the country and clearly is not the sharpest tool in this shed because, by the way, we find out in the course of this whole thing that he's been recording conversations. For crying out loud. I mean, this is a guy who's claiming attorney-client privilege, but he recorded his clients.
You do got to wonder. I mean, that part about Hannity having the money, like, if Michael Cohen had advice that was worthwhile, why wouldn't Hannity have hired him as his attorney? I mean, there was clearly something about the relationship that they wanted to keep super secret, and there must have been some illicit part about it. And I have a feeling we're going to find out sooner rather than later. And it is fascinating. When we come back, let's talk a little bit more about Michael Cohen and who he is, and then I guess we got to move on to the other big story who's in the same sort of orbit, and that's James Comey. And of course there was, he was all over the place this week.
Yep.
We got to take a quick break. I'm Sam Seder. This is Ring of Fire Radio. We'll be right back with the great Digby Parton after this.